Hey, hi all, welcome back to the channel. Let's discuss about access modifiers today and its significance in one of the concept of OOPs, that is nothing but an encapsulations we call it. So, how access modifiers are useful in the concept of encapsulation. Let's understand what is mean by encapsulation first. So, encapsulation is nothing but hiding data from outside world so that it can be only accessible inside a particular container itself, right? Container, in our case, container is nothing but a class, and we that we have a members, class members, and class methods, right? Constructors. So those can be accessible through by creating an object of it, right? So all properties and methods can be accessed by creating an object of particular class, but we can limit that thing, right, using access modifiers. So there are three kind of access modifiers we have. The first one is public, right? And the second one is private, and the third one is protected. So these are three types of access modifiers we have, and these are you know applicable on the function or the class members and a class functions. So let's create one class. So I'm creating class person, and let's create one property called name, and the type is string. Let's create a constructor. Let's create a one method get name, and the return type is string, right? And it returns this dot name, right? So let's create an object of this class. So I have created an object of it. Let's give initial value as test to it. Now I can access this particular property and this method using this object, as both of these are a public you know in the nature. So we can see get name and get the property name. I can access those. So as you can see, no access modifier has been added to this. So by default, TypeScript actually considers these two as a public, right? So if you give the public as an access modifier to it, or if you do not give it, in both cases, the property and this method considered as a public only, and they both are accessible by creating the object of that particular class. Okay. And let's create a class called car, which extends person and a constructor of it, and then inside that we need to call the parent constructor as well, right? So now if I make a function get name, maybe get parent name, something like this, the type of it is string, and if I try to return this dot name, you can see I'm able to access this dot name inside this extended or the derived class as well, or the child class as well, right? And if I create an object of this car using new keyword, right, I can access car dot get name and get parent name. All these three, like two methods and one property, I can access, because by default the nature of this properties is considered as a public only. Okay, whether you are giving the public keyword or not, or the public access modifier, right? So this is all about public. This can be accessible inside class, inside the child class, and outside class as well, okay, by creating the object. Now let's talk about the private access variable, access modifier. So I'm creating a private property over here. Let's say job maybe, right? and then string is equal to se, and I want to access this. Let's create a private method like get job. This could be string, and it returns us this dot job. So now I wanted to access this job and this get name by creating the object of this particular class. So we already have an object person. So let's say dot. You see I'm not able to access those two properties, the one property and the one method, right? So I'm not able to access the get job and this job property as well, because these are meant to be accessible inside this particular container itself, right? And even if you inherit this class, let's say we have inherited the the person class into the car class, and we already have a variable of it like the car variable. If I hit dot button, you cannot see that job property or get job method over here, right? Those are not accessible inside a child classes as well. Okay, they are strictly meant to be accessible inside that particular container itself. If you create a private property of the car class, it can't be accessible outside this car class. It will be only accessible inside that car class only. Okay, and the methods as well. Now, as you have understood about the private, let's talk about the protected. So protected, let's say location of type string is equal to, I'm giving Nashik the value, and let's create a protected method as well. Protected get location. Over here it will return as a string, and let's return this dot location over here, right? Now what about location? We have understood public private. So what about location? So we have a protected method as well and protected property as well. So let's understand this. So protected cannot be accessible outside the class. Okay, if you are creating a object of that particular class, it cannot be accessed like that. Same as private, right? If you are creating an object of the derived class, it cannot be accessed. Same like private. But there is a tricky part over here. Since it is a protected property or the protected method, it can be accessible inside the derived class. Okay, inside the derived class or the class where these properties or methods has been declared or defined. Okay, so now I can access the location property inside this particular person class where it has been defined, and this method as well, and the class which is inheriting this class, right? So let's say I want a method, let's say public method get location, right? And it will return me this dot get location, right? So as you can see, this dot get location is nothing but coming from the person's get location, and from here we can access the property. And if you want to access this property, as we are accessing the protected method over here, right, we can access this protected property also over here inside here. So what we can do, instead of get location, we can directly return the location property from here, right? Because it is protected, that's the reason it is not allowed to use that property directly by creating the instance of that particular class. Okay, it can be accessible. We can give a wrapper on top of it, and we can return internally, we can return that protected property to the outside world, but direct access is prohibited over here. Okay, so this is how protected property or protected methods are, right? So this is all about the encapsulation, guys. I think you have understood it, right? If you have any doubts, you can comment down on the video, and if you like the video, hit like button and share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any new updates coming from this channel, as we are actually creating a series or playlist for the various courses like Angular, we have React, we have Next.js, we have Nuxt.js, right? We have Nest.js, then we have Vue.js, we have Knockout.js. Everything will be covered. Like we have Node.js as well. So these kind of playlists are coming. We are these are in a queue. So once we finish TypeScript playlist, we are going to launch the Node.js playlist as well, right? And one by one we will take all the playlist or all the courses, so that you don't need to search for other YouTube channels for different courses. So all courses you will able to find in this particular YouTube channel itself. So that's the reason I am actually insisting you guys subscribe to it, hit the bell icon, so that you never miss any future playlist as well, or the videos as well. Thanks all guys. Let's meet in next video.